behalf, I would like to extend our warmest felicitations and best wishes to Ambassador Yao and the government on this auspicious occasion. In fact, it was a historic occasion when the People's Republic of China was founded 70 years ago on October 1st, 19. And since then, over the years, I personally have seen the struggle which the People's Republic of China has gone through to uplift its nation, to decrease its poverty, to emancipate the people. The direction was always the same, though it is a matter of fact that its own understanding designed to improve the lot of its own people, whether it was through socialism or whether it was a mixture of its needs, a mixture of socialist and capitalistic policies. But the remarkable thing, and what I must appreciate, I was hearing the Prime Minister of Pakistan day before yesterday in New York praising the fact that about a large population of 700 or 800 people in China were improved, their lot was improved, poverty was reduced, and he was praising the system China must have adopted to do this. We want to learn that. In fact, the first thing this government has been looking for is the fact that there should be a social change which Pakistan desperately needs. And I would come back to that issue when we talk about Kashmir. The fact that the overtures of the Pakistani Prime Minister, as soon as he got elected, he mentioned the fact in his communication with India, in his 5 or 6 communications, he mentioned the fact that we want to lift our people out of poverty, in the health sector, in education. We want in the Indian and Indo-Pak subcontinent to be able to do that, and that is why Pakistan has been always venturing for peace. It is remarkable, we must look at the history of China. It is remarkable that China, with all its policies, with all its developments throughout the world, has not attached strings to that development, has been a peaceful nation, wanting peace. That is where the world should learn from it. Wanting peace, and in fact encouraging development throughout, even in Africa and Latin America, one belt, one road, the BRI concept, the CPEC concept, increasing cooperation with other countries, spending in their development, but still having a political stance whereby no strings and no animosity is either encouraged or wanted. And compared to that, in our region, close to us, we see the opposite. So there is something which China talks about that the world should learn. In fact, it shelved its contentious issues and acted as a sponge to new ideas, sponge to knowledge, looked for developing itself, and that is why China is the second biggest economic power in the world today. With Pakistan, our relationship started improving in the 60s. And I remember when today we talk about Kashmir and the issues, with China, we thought one issue needed to be settled, that was the border demarcation between the borders of Pakistan and China and Kashmir and China, Jammu and Kashmir and China. And it took us months, and the issue was decided in 1962. I don't remember even the fact that more than 1 or 2 more meetings were needed. That is how countries should react with each other. That is how countries should come together. When they have a similar understanding, a foundation of friendship, then it becomes unimportant. A few things here and there, it becomes unimportant because we trust each other. And then onwards, we have seen a remarkable increase in our bonding together and in our friendship. Our issues, we think alike, whether it is Afghanistan, whether it is intent of Indian hegemony, we think alike. We understand what is happening in India. India has a long border with China. India has a long border with Pakistan. And what happened in Kashmir is one example where China stood with us. China pushed the issue in the United Nations Security Council and in all other platforms. When India has intended to isolate Pakistan, China has stood with us and supported us. I must thank you, Your Excellency, and through you I must thank the President of China, President Xi Jinping, for all the understanding which we've had. While we are looking at international policies, the Chinese struggle to emancipate its people now, it has gotten people out of poverty. The other big battle from which we can learn, and Mr. Imran Khan again comes from inside him when he talks about, and when he mentioned the fact that our goal is the state of Medina as a matter of fairness, etc., he also talked about the fact that we can learn from China as far as fighting corruption is concerned. But the most important thing we can learn from China is trying to improve our economy. Because today, in decisions in the world, rather than legalities which Pakistan is sticking to as far as Kashmir is concerned, for example, the 11 resolutions of the United Nations, more than the legalities, more than the fact that the people are suffering in Kashmir, the world has started looking at economic issues as economy being one of the bases to make decisions and tilt and to pressurize whether or not to pressurize India. So therefore, I believe very strongly that we should be looking towards our development, because today in the world, together with insaf or justice, the countries have started giving weight to finances as a matter, as a weightage for judgment regarding fairness. So we can learn from China. We are doing that. There is tremendous cooperation in CPEC. This is just the first phase. We are entering the second phase where the social development factors are becoming important. And I must say that it is a description in Pakistan that our friendship with China is very high, is deeper than the oceans, is as high as the sky is there. And that friendship, I visited China quite a few times, and I've seen that personally. In the bazaars of China, when I meet the Chinese people and they find out that I am from Pakistan, they welcome me much more than otherwise. So that is something. And that's also what you will see in the bazaars of Pakistan. A friendship and muhabbat coming out of the people of Pakistan. So therefore, this is still a start in the history of nations. China has had a long history of thousands of years. Pakistan in the Indus Valley civilization has also had a long history of thousands of years. But as we go on in the world is under stress. The parliaments are stressed. The United Nations is under stress because of the fact that when the Kashmir issue happened, Pakistan believed the fact that when a Security Council resolution is going to be passed, it will be listened to, it will be implemented. But what we have seen is postponement of those issues. I urge all countries in the world to follow what Pakistan does, follow what China does. We don't want to interfere in any other country. We want to have peaceful relations, and we want to improve prosperity for our people. And I must say that China and Pakistan friendship, hamari aur aapki dosti, hamari aur aapki mohabbat will last forever. As long as Pakistan and China we exist, and we will exist forever, we will be together forever. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum.